Hello, and thank you for joining me today as we continue our discussion on the urogenital system. Today, we're going to talk about the male reproductive system. So, this will be section 5. So, here we go. Let's start talking about reproductive systems. So, today, you will be able to identify major components of the male reproductive system, and you'll be able to describe the process sperm takes from production to ejaculation from the body. And so, let's get rolling. There's a number of steps in this, so let's get started. So this is an overarching overview. The entire reproductive system here is shown to you in this diagram. So we have the testes, which we're going to talk about, which are held within the scrotum, which is just a pouch of skin or a sac of skin. It extends away from the body. Attached to your testes are these epididymis, which we'll talk about a little bit. They're connected to the Vas Deferens, which go up to here, and they conjoin with this little guy called your seminal vesicle, which interject into essentially your urethra, which is found within your prostate. This flows down and out of your body, and that's your urethra there. So we're going to talk about these different pieces, and let's get started. So to begin everything, males have what we call testes, also known as testicles or gonads. But their primary function is to produce sperm. That's what your testes do. Along with sperm, I believe there are some hormones in there as well. But they produce sperm, and that is the essence of reproduction, essentially, is what's happening. Okay, so with your testes, this is a smaller cross-section through a seminiferous tubule. So these are your seminiferous tubules here. This is where all the sperm is dividing, and you're becoming mature, producing sperm cells. And so lumen is a space surrounded by these different spermatozoids or sperm cells, or spermatids and spermatocytes and spermatogonia. All those are here. And this is your seminiferous tubules. They're separated by these little dividing lines here, which not a big deal. But they all come out and they end up in these structures here. But your sperm are produced in this location, and then they're given a chance to grow and mature when they reach this next segment. But your testes produce sperm is the function, is their job. Connected to those are the epididymis. So one on each testicle. So there's 3 portions. There's the head, the body, and the tail. Essentially, your sperm gets to here, and this is where your sperm matures. It's given a chance to grow and become a mature sperm cell, so that when it meets an egg, fertilization can take place and reproduction can happen. But these are your epididymis. I mentioned those dividing lines in the last slide. Those are called septa, or just the dividing lines between your different seminiferous tubules along the ways. So sperm produced in the seminiferous tubules, which are found within your testicles or testes. They then travel to the epididymis, where they grow and mature, and then they reach the next segment, which are called the Vas Deferens. And so your Vas Deferens, their function is to connect and transport mature sperm from the epididymis, from the testes, to the urethra, which is where we're getting to. And so your Vas Deferens is this, let's go with yellow, is this tube here. Yellow is a bad color, let's go black. We'll undo that. This tube here is your Vas Deferens, which carries sperm, again, from your testes all the way over to here. So it goes around your urinary bladder and meets up with your urethra at this point. And so we have, and we'll talk about the urethra here in a little bit. But your Vas Deferens merge with your seminal vesicles. So this is your testes, or testicle here, which releases sperm to the epididymis, where it matures. And then it travels through the Vas Deferens up and around here. When your Vas Deferens go into or close to the prostate, they merge with this structure called a seminal vesicle. This vesicle produces a sugar-rich fluid to give the sperm energy, because they will need to travel once they leave the body. So they give the sperm that energy to do so, and this is right before the prostate gland. So this is your seminal vesicle, which merges with your vas deferens as it enters the prostate gland here. And so speaking of that, let's talk about the prostate gland. So this is where the sperm comes in from the vas deferens, which will merge in here. Your prostate gland surrounds your urethra, if you're a male. Surrounds the urethra. Its function is to produce and secrete prostate fluid, which is a component of semen. And then you have a muscle surrounding this gland that moves your seminal fluid to the urethra during ejaculation. So when you go to get rid of the sperm, it moves the sperm to the urethra so it can be expelled from the body. But this is your prostate. Since we're talking about the prostate, one of the common ailments with males is prostate cancer. Now, prostate cancer is a growth or enlargement of your prostate gland. So on the left here, you have a normal prostate in which you have a urinary bladder which releases urine into the urethra, which is surrounded by the prostate, and it flows out of your body. If you have cancer, you get this growth. That's really bad color. You get this growth in here. And that growth makes your prostate larger, which then pushes on your urethra, which closes it off. This growth can also push into your bladder. And so we talked about your bladder in the very first section and how it's kind of like an upside down triangle, almost like a funnel. Well, if you push into this here, it rounds it off. So you notice this is more of a funnel than this one is. And so because of that, we get this funnel's pinched, and then the urine is pushed back up and around. And so what this does is, one, it makes it very painful to urinate. That you're forcing urine through a very small space. Two, it makes your urination times and when you have to go very infrequent and very often, because there's a very slight chance, a very small chance that you get all the urine out of here. And so because you still have some in there, you're going to want to urinate. So you go to the bathroom again, and then you go again. A lot of times this happens at night. And so males with prostate cancer, prostate problems, will often wake up a lot in the middle of the night and have to go to the bathroom. But this is a look at, again, a normal prostate and normal system versus prostate cancer. Fun fact, maybe not fun, random fact, 1 in 9 males will develop prostate cancer in their lifetime. If caught early, it's not, it can be treated, and that's not a big issue, but it can be deadly if left untreated. And so that's why you have to get prostate exams as you get older. And so this is the prostate, and this is what it does for your body. Moving onward, the last little bit's called the urethra. And this is your last final tube. This is your passageway out of the body. So again, your urethra attaches to your urinary bladder. And so this entire structure here is your urethra. This big long tube that takes both urine and semen out of the body. And so for males, both urine and semen leave the body through the same passageway. They both go out the urethra. Females going to be a little bit different, and we'll talk about that. But males, both sperm and urine travel through the urethra. And this is just kind of another look at it all. So that was the male. This is the male reproductive system. So your sperm begins and is produced in your testes. It then travels, so produced here, it travels to your epididymis. Remember, it starts at the head, goes down the body, gets to the tail. From there, it's transported through the vas deferens, which are here, until it merges with your seminal vesicle, located right here, which gives it some energy, some sugar-rich fluid, where it travels into the prostate to merge with the urethra, and then it is expelled from the body. So this is your urinary system. Your urethra leaves and exits the body through the penis. That's the only one we didn't talk about. So the epididymis, the vas deferens, seminal vesicles, prostate gland, urethra, and then the urethra exits through the penis to excrete both urine and or semen, depending on the situation. All right, so here's some review questions. Make sure you can answer these, walk through these, and we will continue this conversation tomorrow.